Amy.
Hi, Taylor.
Welcome to
Much Ado About Some Shit.
Where every week, Ramy, if you didn't know what that was, we're not going to explain.
Not now.
Not now.
What do we do here, Taylor?
Every week, Ramy tries to talk me into watching garbage television.
Just pure shit.
By walking me through some amount of a trash show.
Garbage.
What are we doing, Ramy?
We sat down to do the production for this season.
Yes.
And we were trying to find shows. And I came across a little something called House of Heat.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do you recall at all when we found this, what I told you it was?
Awful.
I meant the premise.
No.
Okay. So the premise of this show is all of these people live in a house for 2 months together. And they are OnlyFans models.
Right.
Many of them in different capacities.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna do that and go through it. Do you want to see our characters?
Let's do it. Quick note for any audio-only listeners. We will reference images, but they are not crucial to the plot. It's really just the names of the folks who are in this season and their faces, so that I know who is who, or I will never remember.
Yes.
But none of it is crucial to the plot. We will vocalize everything we talk about, so don't worry about it.
Yes.
But you can also see the images on our Instagram.
Yes.
At Much Ado Some Shit.
Yes.
Should you desire a visual aid and don't want to watch our YouTube for some reason.
Yeah. Do it.
Do it. So whatever. Anyway.
Okay. So here are our cast.
Okay.
Of
We
characters.
have Vinny, Ava, Jade, Brandon, Steph, Fosh, Chase, Cody,
Cody.
spelled
Very wild.
different, and Sumner. Yeah, and I'm not doing the cat meme of incorrect. Can I has Chinkin?
Oh, okay. I was
Sumner.
like, what?
Mother, I decide to go outside
Mother.
for it is Sumner.
So, House of Heat.
House of Heat.
So all of these people do OnlyFans in some capacity. So I'm going to talk first about Cody and Sumner. They are engaged
Okay, to each other?
to each other. And they do explicit gay content.
Okay.
Not strictly with each other.
Okay.
They've done partner swaps. They've brought a third in. Sumner just started doing traditional porn.
Okay.
Studio porn is what they call it now.
Studio porn. Okay.
Brandon does underwear modeling and like implied nudes.
Okay.
He doesn't show full pole.
Gotcha.
Fosh also does implied. She does like lingerie modeling, and she does do topless, but not full frontal or sex.
Okay.
Steph is a mother
Okay.
of like a toddler.
Okay.
Who-
Look, kids are expensive.
Yes. And she does implied. So lots of bikinis, try-ons type of things, but she's not showing anything.
Gotcha.
Jade is a bikini designer and also does implied.
Okay.
Chase does also implied content. He likes to say that he does more of like the boyfriend thing. It's more like teasing. It's like, oh, you guys want me to take my shirt off? Well, maybe if you give me a shot, you like pay money for a shot, we'll do it. Chase has also been on a season of Too Hot to Handle.
Oh.
And I can't recall if we talked about him specifically. I don't remember. So that either tells me we didn't cover it or he wasn't interesting enough to remember. So,
Awkward.
Ava and Vinny are, they do explicit content strictly with each other.
Gotcha.
They're boyfriend and girlfriend. Ava has had her OnlyFans for a very long time. But Vinny, became her boyfriend after the fact.
Sure.
So, and Vinny is really fucking irritating. I'm sure he's nice enough. But the way he talks makes me want to go lay down.
Oh, God.
Because It's deep because he's a man, but it's also like a vocal fry, and it's a little bit of like
Got that vocal fry.
that vocal fry, and he just kind of said, but there's a little bit of New Jersey in it. I'm making it too bubbly.
Yeah.
But
Joyzy.
it's just really, he's like, come on, girl.
Oh.
Like there's
Use your lips.
there's no move. He's like, you're crazy.
Oh, Jesus.
It's infuriating. He's also a little ass baby who gets really. Ava is the breadwinner. Ava makes the most money. So he gets all pissy about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. For instance, later in the season, Ava is like, hey, don't run up my Uber bill today because I had to pay for some ads and those are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And instead of downloading Uber himself and paying for an Uber himself, he walks like a couple miles.
I mean, if you got time.
I suppose, but like, Jesus. Get over yourself.
Oh, man.
Okay, kind of off the bat, most of these people, all of the people who do implied, slut shame Ava for doing explicit content with her boyfriend.
Really? We're gonna all be on OnlyFans and then judge each other for being on OnlyFans?
Right?
Really?
Like,
Come on.
we're gonna just get straight into it. I could have done a little more research as to what it means to be a sex worker. Because that kind of comes into play later. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Like, is Brandon not a sex worker because he videotapes himself working out in a pair of underwear and then he sends that pair of underwear to a specific client?
That sounds like sex work to me.
Kind of does to me too.
I mean, if you're doing, like, you don't have to do full nudity to know that you're making stuff that people are jacking off to.
Exactly.
Like
Jade
what
is
is this
fully
weird-
aware
Yeah.
that she's putting on her bikinis that literally would cover not even half of one of my lips and her literal asshole,
Yeah.
if that, and she knows.
Like, we know why we're on OnlyFans.
Yes.
Right? Just, why are we gatekeeping
Yeah.
weird shit like
Just
like
because you're wearing teeny tiny bikinis and that's all your content is, does not make you a whole lot different than Ava who's getting railed by her boyfriend.
like what is this, a weird moral superiority thing?
Maybe
Put
that's what it seems
among-
like for one of these people specifically.
That's wild
Yeah.
to me. Because what delusion are you living in,
Yeah.
frankly?
Yeah.
Like, sex work is work, but don't be like, well, my sex work is better than your sex. What the fuck? Come on.
Now there is spots of like, okay, if you are hiring someone for sex for one night, multiple days, years, you know,
Sure.
that is technically illegal in most places
Yeah.
in the United States at this time.
Yep.
So that does imply something different, but that doesn't make these people are sex workers just as the same as my friend is also a sex worker because they dance on a pole and show their titties.
There's sexual aspects, and you have clients
Yeah.
that are experiencing something sexual
Yes,
because of your work.
exactly.
Like, don't shame other people
Yeah.
for doing it a certain kind of way.
Uh-huh.
Like, look, it's all, God, why we gotta be this way? Why we gotta be judgy?
No.
Just everybody do your thing to where you're comfortable
Yes.
and safe.
Yes.
The only time I judge it is if people are using it to hurt other people.
Yes.
And that should be with anything. Like, anything is okay unless it's used to hurt others.
And even then, if it is consensual,
Consensual,
safe, sane, consensual.
Okay. Yeah. I guess
We're getting
to
into
hurt
a lot.
others was, you know what I mean, okay?
Malicious.
Malicious. If there's no malicious intent and everybody is consenting,
Yes.
then what the fuck is the problem?
Did you know financial domination is a thing?
That makes sense.
Men will pay women to like financially dominate them, and like these women have access to this, like these men's finances, and they'll just be like, I want a Louis Vuitton bag, buy me this. Or they'll be
I
like,
mean, sugar babies have been around forever. Some men are into
and
that.
it's an opposite. It's
Yeah.
great. Or, and I mean, that goes for any gender identity.
Dommy
like,
mommy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Chase is especially vocal about slut shaming Ava. Literally saying things like, I make money and I don't have to go to bed for it.
Interesting, they're slut shaming the woman of the people who's doing all this. There are two men here who are also, one has just
Three.
entered.
Three
well,
men who do.
But two men who are a separate couple doing the same thing, one of whom has just entered the traditional porn industry, but only the woman is getting shamed. Fascinating. Fascinating.
Part of
Chase, you piece of shit.
He is absolutely a piece of shit. Part of the reason why Chase goes after Ava is because, so at the time of filming, OnlyFans had started their like live element. So you could go live. And so Chase is doing a live and he's doing the stupid, oh, buy me a shot and I'll take my shirt off. And Ava walks in and goes, hey, do you guys know that Chase doesn't run his OnlyFans? Which I love. But Chase throws a fit and he's like, she's fucking with my money, which I get. But like, he's being a little bitch about it.
Well, like, there's fucking with each other on a professional level, and then there's saying, like, oh, no, you're a slut. All these men are fine who are doing the exact same thing. You in particular, though.
Right,
What the fuck? Up yours.
Yeah. It's annoying.
Ew.
So Jade and Chase are also like lusting after each other. Jade is on like a strict no men diet. But
same.
Fair.
Forever.
But they go on these dates and she's like, but it's not a date. It's a date, but it's a date kind of a thing. It's weird. It's not going to matter much longer because Chase threatens to leave like 5 times.
Fucking bye.
In the span of like 3 episodes.
Okay.
And finally leaves after the like 6th.
Awesome. It's not an airport. Don't feel the need to announce your departure.
100%.
Bye.
So he finally leaves. Couple episodes go by. Chase goes on a podcast and claims that Jade and Ava were both after him. Yeah. Well, no, after him is like, they wanted to fuck me.
Oh.
Yeah. Despite Ava being monogamous with her boyfriend.
Yeah, and probably disgusted by his attitude.
Attitude, whole thing.
It is so fascinating to see an incel attitude from a sex worker.
Yes. It's weird.
I didn't want to fuck you anyway. Also, you're ugly.
Yeah. Right? It's so weird.
What the fuck, man?
It's so weird.
Well, I may have mentioned on the podcast I went on a date with a man, but it was like when the date was impending.
Yes.
He was an incel. It was bad. I'm done again. First time I dated a male identifying person in 10 years. That's a sign from the universe.
It's like me in hiking.
Yeah.
I didn't hike for 5 years, and then the first time I went hiking, got bit by a tick.
And got
a fever.
Sick.
Very bad fever.
Yeah.
Thankfully not Lyme disease. But.
Yeah. I've been bit by ticks, but I haven't gotten sick from it.
Fucking sucks.
Just fucking... I grew up in the wilderness, in the wilds. Like, that was just part of childhood.
Yeah.
But I have never gotten sick from it.
Damn.
So that was every now and then it's just like I feel like the universe was like, nah, you're dipping your toe back no.
Stop it.
Nah, stop. This isn't your place.
Exactly.
So I'm just particularly icked out at the moment.
That's fair.
By that kind of tude from a dude.
Absolutely.
Because it was in way closer proximity to me than I would have liked.
Absolutely. I saw the texts.
Yeah, I have receipts, bitch. Keeping them forever in case I ever need to file a police report.
Good idea,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Yep.
Okay, so once Chase leaves, because him and Jade were so close, Jade threatens to leave, but she does come back. Ava calls her out for being a pick-me.
Okay.
But they're friends now.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So why do people come and go? Like, why did Chase leave?
Chase basically left because of fighting with Ava.
Okay.
Because there was the whole, she walked in and was like, do you know he doesn't do this? And then, so he also like showed off his, I made $10,000 on OnlyFans fucking statue that they have.
Okay.
He showed that off and left it in the kitchen. So Ava decided to fuck with him and threw it in the garbage, but then she put it in like a different room, like an empty room closet. Oh, there was also, he would constantly bring friends over, and that's fine.
Sure.
However, he wasn't getting to know everybody. The whole point of this house is to like get to know these people, collaborate with them, you know, your audience is my audience type of thing, and to
Sure.
also learn.
Yeah.
The whole OnlyFans live thing was brand new.
Yeah.
Steph taught them all how to use it and like
Nice.
good ways how to utilize that.
Sure. This is supposed to be like a team building house, and
Yeah.
Chase over here thinking he's the main character.
Yes, that's what it is.
Gotcha.
And he's not being the main character, so
No.
he goes peace.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah. It's wild. So yeah, Ava and Jade are friends.
Okay.
Then Foch decides to leave
Oh. Okay.
for no discernible reason.
Okay.
She's just kind of, she's being a little quiet. She's
Maybe
not
she
there
just
as
doesn't
much.
vibe with the group.
Maybe,
Like,
yeah,
not all groups of people who do the same thing are gonna vibe.
right. I looked at it too, and it looks like she went from a show called Temptation Island straight to this show.
Maybe she was just fucking tired.
And she's also a realtor.
oh God.
Now, she hasn't posted on her realtor Instagram since in like 5 months.
Okay.
But I don't know.
She busy.
Yeah. So she's doing things. So we're saying fuck it to some of these people.
Okay.
And we'll see a new face that we'll talk about.
Okay.
Yes. After Foch leaves, Sumner is hating that Cody wants everything to be the Cody show and throws a drink on Cody.
Okay.
Their relationship is not
That's-
great.
No, that is your partner.
Yeah.
You're on the same team. And that is not an effective problem-solving method.
No.
If your partner is doing something that bothers you, throwing drink at
Not
ain't gonna fix that problem. Now you have a new, different problem.
Yes.
That reminds me of, did you ever watch The Good Place?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh.
It's been over for a while, but
Yeah.
hopefully it holds up. I haven't rewatched it since. But there was one character, Jason, who they're all dead in the show.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is the afterlife. And
Yeah.
he
The Good
talked
Place
about
is-
how whenever he had a problem, he'd throw a Molotov cocktail at it because then he'd have a different problem.
I wish I could do that
Right.
sometimes.
Just Molotov cocktail.
Yes.
Now you immediately have a new, different problem.
Hell yeah, baby.
That's now you have a different problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
They make up. It's fine, but like
Okay.
it's clear that, and they like almost get into a physical fight as well.
Okay.
It's too much,
That's a lot. Oh man, guys.
right?
Look, you can have healthy relationships and both be sex workers.
Yes.
It's a thing.
No, that's
It's
not even what they're
possible.
fighting about.
No, I figured. Like, it's just like they're over here representing a couple
Yes.
that do sex work.
Yes.
And it's like, you don't have to be toxic, actually.
Yeah, that's not necessary.
No.
Now we get into the actual issues.
Oh, God.
So, first we're going to talk about Ava and Jade versus Steph.
Okay.
So they throw a party
Uh-huh.
at a hotel.
Uh-huh.
During this party, it's supposed to be just a fun party. It's not supposed to be work. Steph brings a photographer friend that makes Ava and Jade uncomfortable,
Oh.
along with some very poorly worded text messages from Steph.
Not great.
Steph texted someone and said, hey, get more White Claws or us, the party, is gonna stop. Ava kind of takes this to mean we have to keep Ava and Jade drunk or they're gonna want to stop filming.
That isn't how I would interpret that, but
I
okay.
can understand where it comes from.
Yeah, I could see it. Like, it's not a entirely wild
Yes.
thing, but that's also not how I would read it at all.
That's fair. The other thing that makes it feel a little bit more sinister to me,
Uh-huh.
and where I kind of believe Ava and Jade,
Sure.
is that when they confront Steph, Steph is like not very, she's very like, yeah, that's not what I meant though. And she's not very apologetic about it. She's not like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that you felt that way. That was not my intent. If I had stopped drinking, I would have wanted to stop and gone to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, she's not very apologetic about it.
Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, I get it both ways. Because, like, if somebody comes at you because they especially somebody you don't know well, because they read a text entirely different and are coming at you kind of hot, I get being like, whoa, I didn't mean that.
But she's neither like super defensive or super sorry. She's just this like weird
In between?
yeah.
Okay, then
It just,
I don't know.
it feels odd to me. And I know that not everybody reacts the same way, but I
Right.
just,
Vibes are weird.
vibes are weird. Steph contacts the photographer and asks him to delete all of the photos that have Ava and Jade
Okay.
in them. So that's good. Ava versus Kazumi. So I haven't introduced Kazumi yet, but she's part of this cast. Kazumi is one of Ava's friends. Kazumi is a very well-known, well-respected member of the like traditional porn industry.
Okay.
She's hosted the AVN Awards a couple of times.
Okay.
And so Ava brings Kazumi in to maybe do some stuff.
Okay.
And Kazumi starts to kind of push Ava to do some like partner swap content. Kazumi does have a boyfriend. However, she does do content with other men.
Okay.
So Kazumi brings some friend in of hers. So Kazumi is like, oh, maybe we're having sex and then you two walk in on us and you like join us and then we kind of swap partners type of thing. Ava is like, no.
They're not into that.
I don't want that. Vinny is my boyfriend. I don't want him having any type of relations with anyone else. Kazumi pushes this at least 3 times. But despite doing that, Kazumi breaks down to the friend that she brought in about feeling guilty for pushing this on Ava.
Then stop.
Now, here's where we find out that Vinny is behind the whole thing. There's a little bit of a hot mic moment where Vinny and Kazumi are talking, and Vinny is like, you have to convince Ava to let us do this.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
And Kazumi is like, well, I'm trying, but then later she's like, feels really guilty about it. And she tells everybody like, hey, I'm sorry if I made everybody feel uncomfortable in any way. That was not my intention. And I feel really bad about it. And I think things would have gone differently if Ava had known that Vinny was behind it. But Kazumi is kind of welcome into the house with open arms.
Okay. Well, it's nice that she addressed it and gave an honest apology.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the last big fight.
Oh.
Jade versus Steph.
Okay.
I'm not sure where the beef exactly, like the Ava and Jade versus Steph thing was sort of resolved,
Sure.
but bad feelings came back from Jade to Steph.
Uh-huh.
But Jade is named as a sex worker that was on payroll for P. Diddy in that lawsuit.
Ooh.
So, do you know anything about that?
Explain it to the people.
Okay, because I looked this up. So, well, I didn't truly know what it was until I looked it up.
Sure.
Again, if that episode has come out, I've become very sensitive about certain things lately.
Yeah.
And I just, when all of that broke, I was like, I can't handle that right
Yeah.
now.
Valid.
So I looked it up. P. Diddy is being accused of hiring sex workers to have sex with him and being on payroll. So like a regular thing.
Yeah.
To go on dates with him.
Yeah.
To have sex with him, to be seen with him, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And that money came from his record label. Yeah. It's not good.
No.
Jade is one of these people that only does implied content.
Right.
So there's that. It's also, if this is true, then that makes her a sex worker in an illegal capacity.
Right.
So it's, Jade knew that this was coming and that it was going to be news. She didn't realize how big of news it would be.
Yeah. It all kind of blew up.
Yes. In the group chat for the house, Steph makes a jab at Jade. About, like, she's like, lots of interesting viral stuff in the news today.
Okay.
Jade considers this a low blow. Specifically because her and Steph are not on good terms.
Right.
They're
this
not
isn't-
kikiing.
Yeah, this isn't like a cute thing you send to, or even just like, even with a friend, just like, do you want to talk about this? Or,
Yeah.
you know, this is.
And this is the day that it blew up.
Oof.
So Jade is dealing with, I'm sure, lots of friends, lots of family,
Yeah.
acquaintances reaching out to her.
Yep.
Probably some people being like, holy shit, you're a horrible person.
Yeah, she's dealing with a lot.
Yes. So for Steph to just, you know,
Don't dog
kick her while she's down
Yeah. Not great.
isn't cool.
No.
Especially when you're living in a house with her.
Right.
So now also the capacity in which these people live in this house, I don't fucking understand. Because Steph has a literal child, like a baby.
Right.
And she is seen being in and out, and like she brings the kid over.
Okay.
And at one point, someone is like, oh, you're bringing your kid into this house? And she's like, I have sex in my house,
Yeah.
and my kid lives there.
Right.
So yeah.
We don't just
Obviously, don't
bring-
have your dick out.
Yeah. Like,
Or your puss.
Zip it up.
But
While the child is here.
yeah,
But like,
that's
they're
it.
not. The kid isn't gonna go into any rooms where anything's happening.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, chill out for a couple hours, guys.
Yeah. 2 hours. Keep it in your pants.
Yeah, that's it. So, because of this low blow,
Yeah.
Jade goes over Steph to someone higher. We are not told who it is, but she calls someone and is basically like, hey, make Steph apologize to me. So this person does call Steph and say, hey, you need to apologize to Jade.
Oh boy.
Now, Steph does not explicitly say who this is, but Steph does divulge that this created more problems for her somehow. So on the very last day in this house, they have a no, you owe me an apology fight.
Oh God, one of those.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
it's a lot.
Okay.
And it doesn't really have a solid end. And like, some of these people, Brandon's from fucking Atlanta. And they shipped him over to California for this. Like, these people are never really gonna see each other again.
Nah. Like,
So just like making literally their final moments in the house,
Awful.
yeah, is just
What?
insanity.
Madness.
This show was absolute trash. And I mean, I could have done it blow by blow, but it was just so not a big deal. And this show frustrated me so much that I was like, fuck this. I'm not spending 2 episodes on it.
Oh my god.
The production also pisses me off. You can't tell. First of all, most of these photos are from their like confessional looks.
Yeah.
Which don't look bad in these photos.
Yeah.
However, whoever I stole these screenshots from did a great job at grabbing horrible screenshots, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I watched this on at least 2 different devices.
Yeah.
They all had the same issue. Their lips looked like they had this like metallic orange lipstick on them. And the guys, their ears looked like it was orange metallic too.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So I don't understand.
What causes
I
that?
have no fucking clue.
Bizarre.
For a minute, I saw it on, I think, Ava or Steph's lips. And I was like, oh, maybe it's this girl's lip gloss.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing it on the gay dudes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then I noticed their ears and I was like, that's weirder.
Yeah. I have questions.
Yeah, it's very strange and it just like they tried to make it about the business a little bit. Like at one
Sure.
point, Cody and Sumner invite everybody to do a little collab on their YouTube channel. So not explicit content. And they have each person make a drink.
Okay.
And then they bring in a bartender and this other person to try the drinks, and they like vote who's made the best drink.
Okay.
So that's kind of fun. Ava talks about how in order to promote your OnlyFans, ads is a great way to do that. However, it's very expensive.
Right.
And honestly, I don't know how OnlyFans and stuff is, but with ads that I've done for other things, the click-through rate is really fucking low and it's not super worth it.
Right.
Word of mouth is still your best bet a lot of the time.
I work in advertising.
Yeah.
Traditional advertising still exists for a reason.
Yeah.
Because one thing we see is we'll go to clients and they'll be like, oh, well, I'm doing this, digital advertising and look at all the impressions I get. And I'm like, okay, what counts as an impression? Because when I'm scrolling through Instagram, I see the ads and I don't stop. I'm like, that's an ad. Was that an impression? And we've done some digital advertising. It can work, like it can, but like
You gotta put a lot into it.
yeah, and it's this weird mind game of they give you all these statistics to make you feel like it's working really well. But are you getting more calls? That's the thing. People will ask us, well, like, what's your impression rate? It's like, okay, we don't track that. What we track is if you get more business in the next 4 months. Like, what we care about is you getting more sales. So if you're getting more sales, we know it's working. If you're not, we know it's not. Like, we're tracking results and not all these numbers that they just throw at you to, like, smoke and mirrors, give them the razzle dazzle,
Well, and even then, so I have a client who booked with a different company in the same kind of realm.
Yeah.
And it was like the 3rd time she had been advertised this bundle. And she was like, okay, I'm going to do it.
Sure.
Because that type of advertising works for her.
Sure.
And they were putting in that effort.
Yeah.
And money. So she books. She gets a call almost immediately. Hey, we can't have that work actually because the person who needs to do that service isn't there at that time that you booked on our website. And she's like, okay, when can I come in? They give her a bunch of dates. That doesn't work for me. I'm out of town.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how about this? No, that doesn't work for me. Can I please have my money back and I will book when I can?
Yeah.
They wouldn't give her her money back at first. It was literally a situation. I think I heard about it on like a Wednesday, or it had happened on a Wednesday. I heard about it on Friday. I saw her on Saturday, and I was like, did you get your fucking money back? Because if you didn't, we're calling them right now.
Yeah. Yep.
And she did.
Good.
But like, in what world are you going to advertise something and then not have that available?
Yep. There's some scuzzy fucking advertisers and sales folks out there. Like, it's a bummer when you go into a place, because why I work at the place I do is because the goal is to advocate for business. Like, that is the bottom line. It's like, we're a small business. Our job is to help keep other small businesses in business so that our town isn't overtaken by the Amazons and Walmarts of the world.
Yep.
And so it's like, we go in with the goal to help people, and if we can't, we walk away.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's the philosophy.
Yeah.
But sometimes you go in to talk to people, and God, they've had just such bad experiences. And you feel so fucking bad for them because somebody just wanted their money and they took it.
Yep.
And they didn't leave them with any results or give a damn about them even. They didn't even fucking try.
Right. Yeah.
So it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But we've kind of veered off on
we
quite
have
a tangent.
But like, they didn't show as much of the business aspect as I would have liked to. I would have loved to see what the back end of OnlyFans looks like.
Right.
As far as, okay, because one thing I do know is you have to, if OnlyFans is your source of income, you have to do things daily.
Yeah.
Like, you can't you can be like, hey, I'm going to take a week off, but you better have some built up content.
Yep.
Because you will 100% lose your audience.
Yep.
I've seen it in Friends, unfortunately. Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Would have loved to see more of that. It was a lot of this stupid fighting. It was a lot of this getting drunk and just not stuff that was super interesting. How many pairs of underwear does Brandon go through in a week because he's working out in them and then sending them off to people? Like, I would have loved to know that.
Right?
I just think that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I've been like, maybe I'll just wear a pair of underwear for like a day.
Yeah.
And then just send it.
Yeah.
Just send it to dudes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've thought about it before.
Truly. I mean,
but
who among us has not thought about selling underwear?
or feet pics or something, you know?
Shit like that. Not for free,
Not
bitches.
for free. Yeah, like,
Yeah. It's...
would have loved to see more of that. I kind of hope we don't get a second season. That being said, if we do, it needs to be a different cast and it needs to be
Needs some
more
actual
focused
content. Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds like what they did with this one was kind of throw shit at the board to see what stuck.
Yeah.
And without, like, the structure that... Who produced this? Was it Netflix or...
No, this is a Tubi original.
That might be part of it.
I have heard, though, that a lot of Tubi's documentaries are really good.
Sure, but there's a formula to reality TV, and I feel like it's a lot like Hallmark movies in that people are like, it's whatever. But then
Right.
you see it, something like Netflix try to do the same thing because it's easy. And they can't actually do it. It really sucks in a way that's different than like Hallmark and normal reality shows.
Yeah.
And so it's like there is a formula. You have to do certain kinds of things to actually get attention and keep it. For instance, this show seems up your alley. Mm-hmm. You're somebody who enjoys reality TV, and it frustrated you.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like,
Because
I can't watch any of this shit.
Yeah.
I hate all of it. But, like, if it's frustrating you, they have no chance of expanding that audience.
I think it probably had a lot to do with there wasn't structure. It was, let's get these people who are in the same business and throw them in a house.
Uh-huh.
None of these people were friends beforehand, except for the couples.
Sure.
But none of them were friends beforehand, and there's no... Usually when there is a TV show of let's get all of these strangers in a house, there's some form of structure.
Sure.
There's some...
They're all going to work together at this restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
Something, some connection beyond, let's just put them in a room together and see what happens.
They're gonna vote one off a week
Or
and win something.
Something.
But
Some
this
kind
was
of
literally
structure.
just... They did have these things, like they go to Joshua Tree and they film content at this other house.
Okay.
And they do a cute little photo shoot.
Sure.
But that was all organized by them. Like, this was not production. Production didn't say...
Production, what are you producing?
Exactly.
What are you doing your jobs?
Yeah.
Or are you playing Minesweeper? What are you doing in your office right now?
Right. Well, I mean, because we have Tubi and Sling and Crackle and Vizio Free and all of this shit now, producers are able to just throw things and see what sticks.
Yep.
And sometimes that's great and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
This is something that's not.
No.
So
Do better. Because this sounded like a hell of a reality show, and then they just made it a nothing burger. Mm-hmm. That's a bummer.
I went onto the subreddit. Literally almost every other post was the show advertising itself.
Wow, y'all.
Yeah. The rest of it was like, is Kazumi on something? Vinny sucks. Why did Fosh leave?
Yeah, that's Reddit for you.
Yeah, but I'm in subreddits that are of TV shows that have ended for years.
Yeah.
And there's still more interesting comments. And
for
stuff.
Sure.
But
well, that's that.
So that's all of House of Heat.
Okay. Thumbs down on
Thumbs
that one.
down.
That was a lay down episode for Raimi. That's it for this week, but we'll be back next week with something else. Lots of trash out there. So, in the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, all at Much Ado Some Shit.
Patreon?
Yeah.
Patreon, we exist there.
Yeah, I said Patreon.
Okay.
Speaking of, shout out to our patrons.
Emma, Florence, and Meg.
Thanks so much, guys. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone for listening. And we will see you all next week.
Bye.